All right, tips and tricks with Df96. I'm going to give you two things that I have found very helpful. First off, the shelf life of Df96 as a concentrate, stock, is 1 year until you open it. Once you open it, it's only good for about 2 months. So the question you have to ask yourself is it really going to be good for that whole 2 months? What if you've processed a whole bunch of really silver-rich films and you've got this great roll of film and you've got a little lifespan you think still left? How can you confirm that your developer is still good? Well, what I like to do is I have an old roll of 35mm film that I just leave in my dark room, and I pull off a little section of it, expose it to daylight like this, before I'm going to process any batch of film. Then in a beaker, I put a little bit of Df96. So I take this end of film, stick it in the developer, and let it just sort of sit in there and slosh around. The piece of film should go completely black. If it doesn't go black, it means your developer is exhausted and you shouldn't use it. You should get a different developer. Now, I take this to the next extent, and then when I first open a bottle of Df96, I take a little piece of film and I do this test. And then I take that little piece of film, I wash it, and I leave it sitting in my studio. So as I'm processing film, I can always do this test and make sure that the blackness is still the same. If the little strip of film comes out and it doesn't look like a black negative to you, it means it's dead. So while this continues to process here, I'm going to teach you one other technique that I like. It's important after about 8 or 10 rolls of film to filter Df96. So the way that I do that is I get a big enough beaker to handle all the Df96. I get a funnel, and in the funnel I put a coffee filter, just a standard coffee filter. And then I pour very slowly the Df96 through the coffee filter. What you'll notice is that the coffee filter gets filthy. All of the junk and everything left over from the film that you've processed ends up in the coffee filter, and you come out with a really clean developer. This extends the life of your developer, I'm convinced. And additionally, it just makes it so your film processing is a little bit cleaner. If you don't want to use a paper coffee filter, you can also use a metal coffee filter. Just make sure you dedicate that coffee filter to just processing film and don't mix it with your Morning Joe, because that would be really bad. So here we go. This has been sitting in here for long enough. And what I can see is the film went to completely a shade of black. So that tells me that this developer is still good and I'm ready to go.